Welcome students to Grow with Biology. Today's topic is nutrition medium in regard with plant tissue culture. So what are the mediums or what are the names of the medium which we find in plant tissue culture? These are the basic 6 medium which you will hear the names if you do plant tissue culture. First and most commonest is MS medium known as Moraschig and Skoog medium. It was given in 1962. B5 medium was given by Gambard et al. In 1968. Then comes the white medium, N6 mediums. N6 was given by Chu. Niche and niche medium by the names of the discoverers, and Gothard medium on the names of the discoverer. These are the basic 6 medium which with the names of which we heard in plant tissue culture. Now, why is this medium required? In plant tissue culture, what we do is we take an explant, which I have already told what is explant in my previous video. If you want to get a basic knowledge about the plant tissue culture, you can go through that previous video. It is given in the description also. The link is provided in the description. And in this medium, the word is medium means it is a base for the growth of the explant. If suppose we want to take the leaf as an explant, so we will take a leaf, we will sterilize it, and then we take a single piece of it, or not the whole leaf, a smallest part of the leaf, and then we will inoculate it in a medium. Now that new medium will give the nutrition to that leaf so that the leaf can develop to a whole plantlet. It is not directly converting into a plantlet. There are different formations. Sometimes we maintain the hormones such that there will be a rooting, or there will be a shooting, or there will be a callus formation. There are different medium compositions. By varying that we can we can modify the explant to what we need. So we have to focus on the constituents of the medium. Now, before moving to the constituents, first we look at the terminologies. Now, for preparing medium, first important thing which we will heard is stock solution. Now, what is this stock solution? Stock solutions are the basic concentrated solution which are required to make the media. If suppose we required 20 ml of a solution or 5 ml of a solution, we won't prepare 5 ml. We prepare 100 ml, and then from that 100 ml we take out 5 ml. Now that 100 ml is the stock solution. Next comes the nutrient medium. What is a nutrient medium? Now this nutrient mediums is a combination of nutrient, water, and it includes carbohydrate, vitamins, minerals, hormones, everything whatever it is required for the growth of that explant, as well as it requires a solidifying agent. Why a solidifying agent is required? Because if we make a liquid and then on it we place a part of a leaf, then that leaf will float sometimes, and then it will get clumped with the, or it will get engulfed in the semi-solid liquid or in the liquid. So there will not be any growth. If the growth has started, then it will again start submerging inside the liquid, and ultimately it will not get the amount of oxygen it required, and it will get damaged. So we required a jelly like substance. So in this case we use either agar, or there are many different solidifying agents which we will discuss. And the hormones. Hormones are specifically important. We know that for plant there are 5 basic hormones, but for plant tissue culture we tell only 3 basic hormones are there. One is cytokines, auxin, and gibberellins. We don't specify on ethylenes because ethylenes are not very important in concern with plant tissue culture. We don't find it very important. The basic importance is moving to is focused on cytokines and auxins and gibberellins. There are abscisic acid also. Abscisic acid is specifically used when we talk about embryogenesis. We all will talk about it in a detail. So these are the three terms: stock cultures, nutrient medium and hormones. Next come the first constituents of the medium, that is inorganic nutrient. Now what is inorganic nutrients? The second is organic nutrients, third is growth hormone, fourth is the gelling agent, and most important is the pH. pH of the medium must be maintained so that there is a proper growth. Now first we talk about the inorganic components of the medium. So what are these inorganic components? Now before moving to the in detail with the inorganic components, I would like to tell you that there are mineral salts. There are salts which we use as an inorganic components. Now what is the function of these salts? These salts will get dissolved in water and then they undergo dissociation and ionization. Let's suppose KNO3, one of the constituent of medium. Now this KNO3 will dissociate to form K plus and NO3 minus. Now this K plus and NO3 minus is the requirement for the growth of the plant. Plant does not require KNO3, it requires K plus and NO3 minus. So all the mineral salts which we are using, they are active factors in the medium in the ionic form and rather than in its compound form. Now it has two types of nutrients. One is macronutrient, another is micronutrients. Macro means required in higher amount, micro means required in less amount. So the macronutrients are nitrogen, phosphate, phosphorus, potassium, calcium and magnesium. Nitrogen is required for the growth of the plant. So if you grow a plant in a garden and if you provide a good amount of nitrogen source to the plant will grow very well. But in laboratory conditions, we have to give the nitrogen source. We have to provide the medium with a nitrogen source for the growth of the plant. Potassium and phosphorus. Phosphorus is required for cell growth as well as in the storage and transfer of energy in plants and as well as in photosynthesis. Potassium is required for cell division, synthesis of protein, chlorophyll and it's for nitrate reduction. Calcium is for cell wall formations, help to maintain the integrity of the membrane, and one of the important functions which we see in a normal plant. If you look at a rose plant, you will find that some portions of the rose plants get black, and the blackness increase from the top to the lower side of the plant. That is known as dieback, and that is due to lack of calcium. So this calcium has to be provided to the plant for maintaining this integrity of the membranes, and the magnesium is required for chlorophyll functioning. Now we talk about micronutrients. Micronutrients includes copper, iron, zinc, manganese, boron, cobalt, nickel. Now copper and iron reduces the lignification, zinc and magnesium reduces the rosetting. Iron, zinc and manganese have action in leaf sclerosis. Boron requires for shoot tip necrosis. To prevent all these shoot tip necrosis, cobalt and nickels are required to inhibit the ethylene synthesis. So this is the micronutrients which we use in inorganic as an inorganic components in media. Next comes the organic components. The first and most important is the vitamins. Myo-inositol, thiamine, inositol, vitamin C, vitamin E, D and riboflavin. E is required as an oxidant, antioxidant. C is required to prevent the blackening due to the explant isolation. Vitamin D is required to regulate the effect on plant tissue culture. Riboflavin to inhibit the callus formation and for improving growth and the quality of the shoot. Myo-inositol is important in functioning of the membrane. Inositol is acting as a second messenger to for the primary action of auxin. Thymine is required for the direct biosynthesis of amino acid and essential cofactors in carbohydrate metabolism. Now, if we talk about amino acids, the cysteine act as an antioxidant which control the oxidation of phenolic and it prevents the blackening of the tissues. So, these are vitamins, amino acids. Carbon source is sucrose and glucose. Now, why are those two? Why not fructose? Why not fructose? Fructose is very less efficient. If we provide sucrose, then sucrose will degrade to form glucose and fructose. So glucose is first utilized and then it is followed by fructose. So sucrose, glucose, fructose, all these are required. Then we comes to the undefined supplements. These undefined supplements like protein hydrolysate, yeast extract, malt extract, coconut milk, orange, tomato, as well as activated charcoal. These are the unidentified supplements which are required. Activated charcoals it is used where phenols like compounds are creating a problem in the in vitro culture of this. At a concentration of 0.2 to maximum to 3% activated charcoal, it can absorb the toxic which is that is black pigments, and it stabilizes the pH. It also provide a dark atmosphere in case of rooting. Phyloglycerol or phenolic compound, it is also sometimes added to inhibit the enzymes activity of the enzyme indole acetic acid oxidase, which is responsible for the breakdown of indole acetic acid. All these are the undefined supplements. Next come the growth hormones. Now, what is a growth hormone? Growth hormone will help in supplementation act as a supplement for the growth of the explant. First important is auxin. Auxin induces cell division. It helps in cell elongation, formation of callus. Now, induction when there is cell elongation, there is swelling of tissues, formation of adventitious roots. Auxin is usually used at low concentration for adventitious roots, whereas in high concentration for callus formation. There are different examples, that is 2,4-D, 2,4-dichlorophenolic acid, naphthalene acetic acid known as NAA, indole acetic acid IAA, indole butyric acid IBA, 2,4,5-trichlorophenolic acetic acid, that is known as 2,4,5-T, p-chlorophenoxy acetic acid known as PCPA, picolam, that is 4-amino-3,5,6-trichloropiccolinic acid. All these are the varieties of auxins, and as per the research papers, we standardize the amount of auxin as well as cytokinin for propagation of the proper explants. Now, if we talk about cytokinase, it is basically used for shoot induction, cell division, and for cell division if it is added with auxins. Remember, the ratio of auxin and cytokinase are very crucial. If it is high, then the cytokinin is high, then there will result in adventitious roots, and axillary shoot increase by reducing the apical dominance. Kinetin BA is benzyl adenine, 6-benzyl aminopurine, that is BAP, 2-IP, that is isopentyl adenine, and zeatin. Next comes the gibberellins. Gibberellins are inducers for the elongation of internodes and the growth of meristems or bud in vitro. It inhibits the adventitious roots as well as shoot formation. IBA is for induction of embryogenesis, and ethylene, it will the rate of ethylene is high in case of stress conditions. So basically we don't focus on ethylenes, it is for flowering and all that. Now comes to gelling agents. When we come to gelling agents, there is agar, alginate, gel-right, all these are used at a lower concentration, maximum to 3% concentration for providing a gelling atmosphere. And the pH of entire medium is maintained to 5 to 6. If suppose there is any we are talking about any secondary metabolite, and if it requires a liquid medium with a higher pH, then that as such that will be maintained. So these are some of the components of the nutrient medium which we have to focus while we produce or prepare the MS medium or any of the medium which is required for plant tissue culture. Next we will talk about the media preparation, specifically the MS media preparation, how we can make an MS media in our lab, or what is the standard protocol to prepare it. We'll focus on this in the next coming video.